Mobile application introduction, session 1. Today we are going to see what is mobile application, how the IDE is to be installed and explore the IDE. So mobile application is one of the things which day to day we are going to use. So there are going to be 6 sessions. Follow up each the 6 sections to know more about mobile application. We are in term with Spectro. We are partnered with Spectro for this session. So here are few health and safety policies followed by Spectro. In this pandemic, we are all working online, studying online. We need to have some physical activity in between. So we need to have a break. Look at the green instead of staring at the devices. Have a glass of fresh water to refresh ourselves and smile for some time. Speak around with people instead of staring the device and smiling. Have a proper walk and sit in a proper position while you work. This is all you need to follow to stay healthy and safe. And let's get into the session. What is Android? We need to know very deeply what is Android because we use it day to day. So we need to have a common knowledge before developing it, how, what and where it is to be used. Android is an operating system. It is completely based on Linux version. It was initially developed by a startup company named Android in the year 2005. As part of strategy enter the mobile space, Google purchased Android and took over its development work. Not only the development as well as the developers who are working there. That is, the development team was undertaken by Google. So there was no Android company separately. Google took over Android. And Google also wanted Android OS to be open and free. So most of the Android codes were released under an open source Apache license. That means anyone who wants to use Android can do so by just downloading the full Android source code. Moreover, vendors, typically the hardware manufacturers, can download it, add their own extensions to Android, and they can customize their products so that they can differentiate from others. This development model makes Android very attractive among the vendors. So this was one of the special features wherein Android provided a compatibility to design and customize according to the vendors. So this made difference between other technology and Android. This development model makes an Android very attractive. Also, there was another revolution called a phenomenon of Apple iPhone, which was a huge successful product which changed the complete smartphone industry, which we could tell. When the iPhone was launched, many smartphone manufacturing companies scrambled themselves. That is, there were no products such as iPhone. These manufacturing features around the Android was a solution. That is, it was the only thing the hardware vendors can take up and design a new operating system that was powered to itself. So some companies that have taken advantage of Android open source policies include Motorola and Sony, which have been developing their own mobile operating system for many years, and finally they took over Android and they customized their operating system themselves. The main advantage to adopt Android is to offer a unified approach to application development. That means the developer need only develop an Android in general. They need not have to see the platform independent feature, and their application should be available to run on numerous different devices. As long as the device are powered using an Android, there are number of devices for Android, a tab, a mobile phone and etc. So this was one successful. In the world of smartphone, application are the most important part of the success chain. There are many applications which are going through. For example, now you could take online classes are going through Zoom application. It is an Android application. Google Meet, it is an Android application. So there are so many examples. Our day-to-day life uses Android. So we need to have a great grip on how Android applications are being developed and designed. Android has multiple versions. It has gone through a quite number of updates since the first release. The first release was in the year 2009. It was in the date February 9th. The first version was 1.1. After that, there were many releases of it, and currently there are n number of devices available with different Android version. They also have a code name such as cupcake, donut, eclair, gingerbread, ice cream sandwich and all those things, Kit Kat, Marshmallow, Nougat. There are n number of code name given to each release. That is, they are having n number of versions of Android to tell. The next comes the most important part, that are the features of Android. Here for storage in Android we use SQLite. So SQLite is something wherein all the storage of developed and applications are being stored. It is a very lightweight and it is also a relational database for data storage. So all the data are being stored in SQLite. So this is one thing you need to consider when it comes to storage, and these features are from point of view of an application being developed. So it is not from the point of view of an user. So you are a developer now, start thinking what are the features Android will provide for a developer to develop an application. That way, storage is to be stored, our application is to be stored in a database. It is a relational database called SQLite. Next, the connectivity. Connectivity, we are having n number of connectivity. The most probably the common thing which we do in our day-to-day life is Bluetooth. We connect to a Wi-Fi. This is most important one. Bluetooth is gone out of date, but then Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi gives a hand to everyone. We use Wi-Fi wherever we go. We have a hotspot. We connect it to a Wi-Fi and we use. Our devices are totally based on Wi-Fi, and we have LTE. This is the most important revolution now. VoLTE and LTE. All these things are connectivity. That is, your device wirelessly going to connect to anything that is possibly useful for your application. These are the connectivity features. Next, third one is the messaging. Messaging, probably the inbuilt messaging system will give you SMS and MMS. You can send a piece of text within your contact, and MMS means you can send a image or a multimedia within a contact list. So next is media support. Media support, you have MP3 support, MP4, GIF, PNG, what are the images you can store, what are the files you can store, as well as what are the music file which will be supported. All these things come under media support. Hardware supports are nothing but your camera, your digital compass, which will already be inbuilt, like your GPS. All these are not third party application, indeed your own application which are being inbuilt by the Android. While the purchase of Android application, there are a number of applications already present on your mobile. Those are the hardware supported, which are already built within the phone. Inbuilt application which you're going to download it from your Play Store are the third party application. This is what is hardware support. Multi-touch. When you're using a keyboard, you use your both the thumb fingers to touch. So that means you're using two and multiple touch within the fingers. So this is known as multiple touch. Multitasking, you listen to song, you text someone, as well as you have a split screen which you do multiple works within. The next one is threatening. That is sharing your internet connection as wired or wireless. Maybe using your hotspot, you can share. So all these are the most important features of Android. These are all inbuilt when the Android application is being devised. So these are the things. And the next one is the architecture of Android. As you see, there are four most important layers in Android architecture. We come up with Linux kernel as first one. This is the kernel on which Android is completely based on. So you could tell this is the base layer. This layer contains all the low level device drives for the various hardware components. So whatever the hardware components that are present on an Android device are being stored in the Linux kernel. That is, they are layered and designed on Linux kernel. They may be a most important section wherein it gives a clear picture that what are the important drives we have in our Android system. Most probably the camera drive, power management. So what are these used for? Camera drive is used to access the camera. That is, it will show you how the image has to be captured, where it should be stored. Next is the power management, how your battery is to be maintained, how they will indicate you that your battery is full, how it is low. Next is the process management. There is a process for everything we are doing in our day-to-day life to our process of Android. From everything we are having a process to be managed. So this shows that where we need to power on, what we need to do when we are supposed to activate some process. All these are being stored in the process management. Memory management, this is the most important one. We look over on an Android device for a memory, for a good memory, so that the data can be stored. So memory management. Next one, audio driver, Wi-Fi driver, display driver. All these are what its name meant for. So Wi-Fi driver, it will get connected to multiple hotspots at different times. When we are traveling, there could be no constant Wi-Fi device which will be connecting to us. So we will be having audio drivers where we can listen to an audio when an mp3 is played or mp4 is played. Display drivers, it will display an image, video, as well as the application how it is to be driven. So these are the Linux kernel. This is the base layer where Linux kernel will hold all the driver level of application. Next comes the libraries. This libraries contains the code, that is whatever the main features of an Android OS is to be holding. For example, you could take the database which we are using, SQLite library. It provides the database support so that an application can use it for data storage. We use SQLite for data storage, right? As well as the WebKit library, which will provide the functionality so that we could browse the web browsing on the Chrome or any other default. If it is Samsung phone, you will be having a Samsung browser automatically popping up to ask whether it should be a default one. So we have multiple other features within this library. Library name defines it, everything that can be used within ourselves. So there are multiple other features also, such as SQLite, WebKit. There are media frameworks. Every frameworks are being managed within library. Next comes ART. This is the most important, that is the Android runtime. One of the most important session within the architecture is Android runtime. So this Android runtime is located in the same layer, that is within the library, but it is having a separate core set of libraries to be enabled so that the developer can write an Android application using the Java programming language. Herein we can develop a new application by writing a codes using an Java application. This runtime also includes Dalvik virtual memory. So what is Dalvik virtual memory? The application what we develop will run on its own process. So that process is known as Dalvik virtual memory. Any Android applications are compiled into Dalvik executable files so that it can virtually run on any of the Android devices by optimizing the low battery power or any mobiles using the CPU power. So this is what a programmer must concentrate on. So he has to develop a application based on Java which should be virtually available in Dalvik virtual machine so that it will be compiled and executed. Once this is done, it could be running on any of the Android device. The next layer is application framework. The application framework will expose the various capabilities of an Android operating system to an application developer so that they can make use of them in their application. So these are all inbuilt. You can use them while you are designing an application. Next is the topmost layer called application that are shipped with the Android device. It means when you are purchasing an Android mobile, by default phone, contact, browser and so on will be installed. So these are the application that you don't want to download or install it. By default all this will be present. So these are the native Android application. Whatever you are installing are the third party application. Android devices that are available in the market. I hope at least there are so many devices which are being already owned by all of us. So smartphones comes the first. Smartphones are such a common thing wherein even a layman use it. Why do we use it? Because there are applications which will make our work easy. The task what we need to understand here is any user interface, that is API level, should be very interactive to the users who are probably using it. Even if they are not aware of how to use it, just by the interface they have to feel that yes, they can do it off. This is what is Android coming up with. So next comes the e-reader. You can eliminate hundreds of books from your library and instead store all them on the same device called e-reader device. Next, the tablet. Tablet is a extended large form of your smartphone wherein you can also use it as your mini laptop. Not exactly all the features are being fitted in, but then you can probably use it. In this current pandemic, for online classes, it is more suitable, I prefer so. The next one, smart watches. Now these are the high trends which are revolving around. So smartwatch has all the feature like attending a call, speaking to the other end people as well as listening music. It doesn't mean just watching a time over. Other than that, there are multiple other features which are fixing in an Android device into a very small handy device called a smartwatch. So maybe most probably the world can also take over the smartwatches instead of a smartphone. Why not? It is more easier and compatible when compared to a smartphone. So next is the internet TV. These days internet TVs are the most popular all around. So you could have many applications wherein you will be fitting into the devices wherein you can watch everything in a big screen rather than a smartphone. All together, sitting together and spending more time in an internet TV. Automobile. You can see a most provoked automobile coming up in Bangalore. Tesla has everyone are aware of. Next is obtaining the required tools. What are the tools you need to develop an Android application? First, a Java JDK. Next, the Android Studio. It is the IDE wherein you are supposed to combine it with Java JDK to make sure your applications are being developed and enhanced so that other applicant can use it. That is the third party application can be developed by using an Android Studio. These can also be, if required, and inbuilt when only the necessary are being eager. So next thing, how are you going to install it is the next thing what we are going to see, and how is the IDE going to show us what are the things we need to do. So we will explore the IDE, know how to install it, everything coming up following this video.